I want to start this reflection by acknowledging that I am not okay. I am angry, and I am very angry. I am angry about deportations that are happening without due process. I am angry about children who are American citizens being deported together with a parent. I am angry about the actions that are being taken, many actions to cut costs, but really by terminating very valuable programs. And I am especially angry that we now know, and it's no surprise to anyone, I think, with a brain, that this approach to cutting costs actually doesn't save anything. It costs as much as was saved by those costs that were not paid out in salaries and benefits to the people who were terminated. I am angry that valuable research programs are being threatened. Some of them closed. Some of them, like the Women's Health Initiative, which has had such valuable, important findings for years, closed and then reopened when someone recognized, oh, maybe that was important afterwards. I'm angry about all of this. I'm angry that our allies in the world are being alienated, even when there are many within the country who don't agree with those policies. And I'm angry about learning that there are still many within the country who aren't angry. People who think that all of this is normal or good. So today's service is about resistance. And resistance and voices of resistance are what make me feel hopeful. Resisting and also finding ways to find love and to seek joy and to see joy and love as acts of radical resistance. So in searching yesterday for words that I might want to share during this service, I found a writing by Reverend Marisol Caballero, and Reverend Caballero is a faith innovation specialist in the UUA's Faith Development Office. I didn't know that there was a Faith Development Office, but there is, and I should probably go learn more about it. Reverend Caballero is a native Texan who lives and works in Austin. And she wrote these words in February 2017, which, you know, I think we all remember that time was a time when many of us experienced some similar feelings to what we're experiencing now, and experiencing this great need to resist and also to take care of ourselves and to take care of others. And so Reverend Caballero wrote a piece that she called Go Play. And the piece is about learning to view play and finding joy as a component of radical resistance. And I thought it would be valuable to share this morning. And so what I'd like to start with is the quote that Reverend Caballero headed her piece with. And I think Dawn will be able to find it in the slides and put it up on the screens. So this is a quote which Reverend Caballero chose from Thich Nhat Hanh, and I'm going to give it a few seconds to come up on the screens before possibly I say it, even without it being on the screens. Here we are. So again, a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. actively choosing to find joy. I'm now looking at Jeffrey Breyer, who is smiling. He's used this quote before, too. Those who are on Zoom couldn't hear Jeffrey say this. Reverend Caballero writes, "Among my circle of friends, there's an ongoing inside joke to quote song lyrics that give terrible advice. And I'm no singer, so I think I'm going to read them rather than sing them. But among them are, don't cry out loud, hold it inside, learn how to hide your feelings. Really bad advice. Another is, smile though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. In our Eurocentric American culture, outward displays of emotions other than happiness are sometimes taboo. And women especially are taught that anger is unacceptable, sadness and showing your sadness is unladylike. And I think that gets captured in those two song quotes, and you can probably think of others. And of course, it's not just women who feel the pressure to control their difficult emotions. Men can be pressured to be manly about how they express their emotions. And there are definitely acceptable and unacceptable means of expressing sadness, anger, frustration, or any other emotion that's deemed unpleasant. When our emotions boil the lid off those repressed feelings, we risk behaving in regrettable ways with the people we love most, and we all do this, and we recognize it in others. There does exist, though, a growing body of scientific and anecdotal evidence, which Jeffrey knows well, that it is possible to what Reverend Caballero calls fake it till we make it on our way to happiness, and that it isn't really faking. That this, faking doesn't necessarily deny the full range of our human emotional experience. Studies tell us that there is a connection between that upward movement of the corners of the mouth, smiling, and the production of serotonin in the brain. And Reverend Caballero writes, maybe this is why these days, again, think February 2017, these days, she says, my therapist ends most sessions by telling me the same thing my mom used to shout at us when we were whiny, bored kids on long summer days. She says her therapist shouts to her, go play. To play is to pretend, and honestly, sometimes the world seems too heavy to leave that. But the more I watch the news these days, the more I'm coming to view playing and intentionally seeking joy as a means of radical resistance. And Reverend Caballero writes, I will continue to laugh with my friends at songs that deliver terrible, emotional advice. And I wanted to read to you a couple of statements from another source. And you may be familiar with this source. There's a beautiful source. You can find it on the UU website. At least I think it's beautiful. It's called Beatitudes for Justice Builders. And it goes on for a long time. I don't know if any of you have read this before. It's written by Lindy Ramsden, and I'm not going to read all of the Beatitudes to you. I picked several of these out that just felt very relevant to me today. Blessed are you who sing and dance. You will find energy and joy to lift you on your journey. Blessed are you who do not demonize your opponents. Your eyes and your hearts will be open. Blessed are you who study the rhythms of history. You will have knowledge with which to shape the future. Blessed are you who work in coalition rather than in principled isolation. You will meet great people, learn things you didn't realize you needed to know, and have partners for the journey when you are in the lead or when you are in need. Blessed are you who play as well as work. You will have more fun, build more energy, and will draw the powers of the impish to your cause. Blessed are you who can change your mind. You are still alive. Blessed are you who live from a place of gratitude, for you will know the meaning of life. So Reverend Caballero ends her reflections on going and playing with a prayer. And she wrote, "Divine mystery, you are present in my joy and in my sorrow, anger, and fear. Guide me to create joy in my life and in the lives of others, that despair finds no permanent home within my soul."